Hey everybody, Dr. Hildman here. How the heck are you doing? And freezing cold here in Colorado right now. What we're going to do is go through the next section of TryHackMe. It's called Enumeration and Brute Force. And in this section, what we want to do is we want to find out how to use Hydra. So I'll explain that in just a few minutes. And so let's get started. Now we're working through enumeration and brute force. This is what they call a room in TryHackMe. It's very good quality. These guys have done a great job with this. I've got an IP address out here. I'm going to use OpenVPN, OVPN, for this. So I'm going to copy this address to the clipboard like so. I have it for about 2 hours. And then we're worried about task 5 here. Now in the last movie, I walked you through how to use Burp Suite to do this work, like this, and you probably remember that if you have looked at that video. That's not a problem. And then what we have is down at the bottom, once we get the flag, the capture the flag thing, they ask us, okay, why don't you go back and try using Hydra instead of Burp. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. I'm going to jump into Kali. First things first, I want to, of a day, when I'm back in here, it's been a while since I was in Kali, I'm going to do a sudo apt update, and you can see that I could also tack on ampersand ampersand. That means and, it's a logical and it's saying once you're done doing sudo apt update, go ahead and do sudo apt upgrade as well, and what that will do is upgrade software that has an upgrade ready for it. And then the tack y answers yes to yes, I understand that we're going to install software and it's going to take up a certain amount of hard drive space. So I'll do this update real quick. Type in my Kali password, and it shouldn't take too long. I'll come back as soon as we're done with this. All right, that was pretty easy peasy, so I'll clear the screen. And now I want to start OpenVPN. So I'm going to say sudo OVPN, and I'm going to point it to my desktop. If you've been following along with the movies I've been doing so far, I put my OVPN file on my Kali desktop, and there it is right there. And I'm referring it to it here, /home/Kali/desktop with a capital D. If you put a lowercase d in there, it's going to not fly, /bill.helbman.ovpn. So I'm going to start OVPN, and there we go, and everything looks good. But I don't have the correct IP address in there, so it's going to fail. So I'm going to do a Control-C right now to get out of that temporarily. I'm going to grab another prompt here. There's my second prompt. And I'm going to say sudo nano, I'm going to do nano etsy hosts /etsy/hosts, because what I need to do is put in the new IP address. This is the old one that I was using to test with. Now what I want to do is I'm going to right click, paste the clipboard here, and I've got the new address. Control O and enter to save, and Control X to exit. Beautiful. I'll clear the screen, and I'm also going to change to the folder where we've been doing all this stuff. So I'm going to cd into TryHackMe, Enumeration and Brute Force, and my prompt shows that I am in the correct place now. Now I can come back to this screen, hit up arrow, and initialize OVPN again, and things are looking good. Now to find out if we really did, if we're really okay, what you can do is you can ping, and I'll just right click and paste this new address in here and see if it hits, and nothing just yet. Okay, and I have it now, so that looks good. So I'll just Control-C that to get out of there. That's excellent. I've got everything I need now. Now, here's our deal. So what we're supposed to do is we are supposed to go into this room here. Let me show it to you. We're supposed to go into this room here and do something with it. So what I want to do is I want to get that URL now. It's up near the middle of the screen, I think, middle of this lesson here, and there it is right there. So I'm just going to right click and copy this link address so that I have it. I'm going to go back to Kali now. Here's Kali. I've got 2 of these running. I'm not going to use either one just yet. And now what I'm going to do is bring up Firefox. Now I don't need to use Burp's Chromium, built-in Chromium this time, because I can use Firefox for this. I'm just going to right click and paste and go. That should take me to this location. I'm going to need this URL to do the work that I'm going to do. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about what Hydra is. So here's a little sheet that I made for myself about Hydra. It's good for brute forcing passwords. That's why it's good. And you can install by just using sudo apt on Debian systems, sudo yum on RHEL systems or CentOS based systems. And here's the main thing that you want to pay attention to. So Hydra, you're going to either pass in a username or a username list. So you can have a list of a lot of usernames and a lot of passwords, or a single username and maybe a list of passwords, which is how we're going to use it. So if I'm TAC-L, lowercase l, that's a single username. If I'm TAC capital L, that's a username list. If I'm TAC-P, password list, that's a list of a bunch of passwords. I can set the threads. They recommend that you set it to TAC-T4 because what's happening is if you were running this on a production system somewhere, you know, the system might detect that there are multiple threads going out as a result of this brute forcing. Then the protocol that you want to attack, and then the target. And here's an SSH one. This is what we're going to do. We're going to almost exactly do this. So we're going to type in Hydra TAC-L admin. Now you remember, if I go back here to that particular page, you might remember that we could use admin. So admin was the thing that got us where we needed to go. And so we're going to go ahead and use admin in this case. So single lowercase l admin is fine. We're saying we want you to look for just the word admin, but we're going to create a password list. And then we can tell it to go into SSH and grab it that way. However, there's a different way that we're going to go. And so that is what I wanted to talk to you about right now. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so we're ready to go. Everything's ready to go. Let's take a look at Hydra first. So I'm going to bring back up my THM ECF. I'm going to clear the screen. And Hydra is built right into Kali, so it's really cool. You can use it right away. And if I look at the man page for Hydra, you'll get some good help. They have a man page for it, and you can scroll down and look at all of the different things that are available to it. It's actually really, really huge. There's a lot going on with Hydra. It's a very well-known, very highly respected password brute force tool, so it's something to know. Now, when you have some things like a char set and you have to do this sort of an idea here, where you're going to pass in some special characters, that can get a little more dense. So we're not anywhere close to being experts with Hydra, but we can use it right now, and that's actually a good thing. But I do want to communicate to you that you can take Hydra quite a bit further, and you can use Crunch, for example, to generate a fake password list, fake username list, and utilize those within Hydra. There's a way to do all that. So if I'm going to quit to get out of here, Q. If I do a man page on Crunch, Crunch is strictly nothing more than a word list generator. Works really well. And so you have the ability to use Crunch to make yourself a custom word list. And you should probably go through and read about this and maybe look at some examples of how people are doing this, because it can get confused trying to make Crunch do what it is you need it to do, and it can get very, very large. Like I was trying a couple of things and said, okay, this is going to take up 9 petabytes of data. Well, no, that's ridiculous, so I had to stop it. Anyway, I'm going to Q out of here, and I'm going to clear the screen. So what do we need to do? First of all, we need to make a copy of that 500 worst passwords file. And I wanted to shorten it so that it was easier to see when you're in a particular folder. So let me open up the file system for you and show you what I'm talking about. If we go to Kali and we go to downloads, we've got this 500 worst passwords that we're going to use as our password list. So I can right click and copy this like so and send it into Kali THM EBF. I could paste it and then rename it. And that's what I've done here. I've renamed it to pass.txt. So that's easy to do as long as you've got it. The download location is in the Try Hack Me folder, so the room, so you can go get that if you need to re-get it. If I do an ls here, you can see that I've got pass.txt out there. Now I did want to show you that there are tons of word lists that are built right into Kali. So I funneled those all out to a file here, and I'm going to cat username word list location so you can see it. And you can see that there's a bunch of word lists that are available in Kali. Now let me bring up another prompt here. There we go. I'm going to, yeah, that's perfect. I like that. So let's change to, let me get the other one here and move that out of the way as well. Go back here. Okay. So here we are in Kali. And the location of these files is going to always be in user share. So if we cd to /usr, it's not user like user. It's pronounced user, but it's actually user. We're going to go into share, and we go into word lists. That's where all of the word lists are kept in Kali. Clear the screen, do an ls, and you can see that I have a bunch of them here. So I've got quite a few. Now the big guy is rockyou.txt. Here's the story with rockyou. This is the name of a website that published all of the usernames and passwords in clear text. There are 14 million of them. And so somebody hacked it and they downloaded this list of passwords and they call it rockyou.txt. Now, when you see rockyou, it's going to show up as a GNU zip file, a GZ file. And you have to unzip it. My problem with that is it's hard to get it back. So what I think you should do is I think you should rename rockyou.txt.gz to rockyou.txt.gz.back. And then you have a copy of that so that you could unzip it and you have the real rockyou that contains all of the files. And if I did word count rockyou.txt, let's see what we get. Yeah, there's 14.3 million passwords in there. So that might be something that you want to use, but there are others. There's one, I think, called Derb. Derb stands for Directory Buster, and here's its long name and its short name. There's DNS Map, Fern Wi-Fi. There's the John. John is another password cracker. There's Metasploit, Mmap, and so forth. So there's a lot of different word lists out there. The problem with rockyou is because it's 14.3 million characters, it takes a while to crank through all that. So that's why we should probably consider using that 500 worst passwords instead. Let me clear the screen. Okay, now I've got my command. I'm going to need this guy right here. I'm going to need that URL. But let me type in my command. So I'm going to type in Hydra, TACL, and then I'm going to tell us that I want to look for the word admin. I'll do a TAC capital P, and my password text file is in this THM EBF folder, so I'll just type in pass.txt. That's the one that I renamed from the 500 worst passwords. And now the big guy. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So you can do an HTTP GET. So you do HTTP GET : // Then what you do is you come over here and you copy this URL because you need that for this HTTP GET, and you paste it in here. So here's that bit of it, and then you do a colon and you type in A equals basic, and then this TAC V, little v, big V, means verbose. Show me everything that you're doing. And so this way what we're doing is we're actually getting in to the Try Hack Me box using an HTTP GET as opposed to using SSH. They both work. So either way is fine. So if you're out there reading about it, you could use SSH to get in, or you could use this technique. Either way works. And I like this technique a lot because it has some extra features to it. Like if I would go in and research what A equals basic means. I would want to know what these switches mean, how that all works. So I thought this was a pretty innovative approach to solving this problem. Let's run it. So you can see that it runs just fine. It takes it not very long to run at all. And there we go. And we say that I'm out on enum THM. My log is admin, and my password is yellow. That's it. There's not a lot to it. It was very fast. In fact, probably faster than Burp Suite, but that's okay. It's just yet another way for you to go in and use the tools that Kali offers to do the work that TryHackMe is looking for. This is why TryHackMe is such an excellent educational interface. That and Hack the Box are terrific at this. Now, there is one thing I want you to know about when you're using Hydra. So I think you get a warning up here. Let me go up and see if I can find it. Yeah. So Hydra 9.5, Van Houser, THC, and David, somebody or other, please do not use in military or Secret Service organizations or for illegal purposes. They say this is non-binding, these, whatever that means, ignore laws and ethics anyway. Kind of a little political dig, I think. So they're saying, yeah, if you decide to do it, you know what, they do it to you, so you should do it to them. I thought that was very interesting. But the main point here is ethically, from an ethical standpoint, don't try using Hydra, especially on a production website. Somebody's going to catch you, and they're going to want to know what the heck you think you're doing. You could go to jail for something like this. Okay, that's all I've got. Now, if you've enjoyed watching this video, please like the video and share it with your friends. Let them know about the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel, and I will talk to you in the next video. Have an awesome day.